Forget everything you think you know about a tough winter. We're about to step into a world where every single breath, it's a fight against being completely wiped out. A world of ice, of this constant gnawing hunger, and a cold that just seeps right into your soul. This is the story of one family, and their desperate fight just to see the next sunrise.
And you have to understand, this isn't just a bad weather day. This is life. It's the very fabric of their existence. It's a cold so deep, so profound, it actually becomes a part of you. It's like this constant, seductive whisper in your ear. Just lie down in the snow. Just let it all be over.
But you can't. You don't lie down. Because you're not just fighting for yourself, right? You're fighting for them. A family. You've got the father, he's the one telling the story. His wife, who's this well of silent strength. Their son, who's, well, he's already learning the brutal lessons of this world. And then there's their young daughter. Her health is as fragile as a leaf that's been frozen solid.
And the dangers here, they just pile on top of each other. It's not just the biting cold. It's not just the predators stalking you from the shadows, or the constant hunger in your belly. No, it's all of it, all at once, every single day. Can you even imagine the weight of that? Trying to protect your family in a world that seems like it's actively trying to erase you from existence? So, as the sun starts to dip below the horizon, the world gets even more hostile. I mean, the temperature just plummets. The winds pick up, and the predators, well, they use the darkness to their advantage. Finding a cave? This isn't about comfort. It's not a luxury. It is the only thing that stands between life and a frozen, silent death.
And then they finally spot one. It's just this dark gash in a rock face. But here's the thing. A potential shelter is also a potential tomb. A lot of these caves are already occupied. And, you can't exactly serve an eviction notice to a giant cave bear.
And this isn't just some hypothetical fear. For the father, it's a memory that's literally burned into his mind. As a young boy, he watched his own father and his brother walk into a cave just like this one, and they never came back out. The only thing he heard were their screams, swallowed by the roar of the bear. And now, here he is, standing before a new darkness, with history threatening to repeat itself.
So you don't just rush in, of course not. You follow a ritual, one born from pure terror and really hard-won experience. He goes into the darkness alone. He strikes his stones, coaxing a single precious spark into a flame. Then he hurls that torch deep inside, and he holds his breath, and he listens. But he's not listening for silence. No, he's listening for the roar that means he has to turn and run for his life.
But this time, nothing. No roar, just the faint squeal of a rodent somewhere in the back. The cave is safe. The relief, it's just profound, you can't even imagine. A fire is built, and for the first time all day, they are warm, they are safe. They can finally breathe. But peace in this world, it's fleeting. It's a mirage. Just as they begin to settle in, a new sound cuts through the night. The howling of wolves, and they're close. It's this chilling reminder that the walls of the cave are thin and the dangers of the Ice Age are always just beyond the edge of the firelight.
Okay, so what are their defenses? They're simple, but they're absolutely ingenious. The fire, that's their shield. It keeps the predators at bay and fights back the deep freeze. But just as important are the thick bison hides. They've been painstakingly sewn together with sinew and bone needles. These blankets, they're the only armor they have against the cold that can literally kill you in your sleep.
The next day, the father and son are out gathering firewood. And then, in an instant, the world just changes. The wind rises with this sudden terrifying violence. This isn't just snow. This is a force of nature, and it feels like it's intent on wiping the entire slate clean.
The world just vanishes. Poof. All sense of direction. Gone. Swallowed by the gale. The father is shouting for his son, but his voice is just torn away by the wind. And you have to understand, to be separated right now, that's a death sentence. And then, out of that chaos, a new nightmare emerges. A massive wolf. It's been separated from its own pack and is just consumed by the rage and confusion of the storm. And it sees only one thing: prey.
The father, without a second thought, throws himself in front of his son.
What follows is this desperate, brutal fight against teeth and claws, all happening inside a hurricane of snow. He gets one shot, one lunge with his spear. It has to be perfect. He drives it deep, and the beast's howl is just swallowed by the storm.
But there's no time for relief, not even a second. The storm is at its peak. So, in this grim, necessary act of survival, he and his son huddle underneath the wolf's carcass. Its fading body heat is their only shield against that fatal, biting wind.
When the storm finally breaks, they crawl out into a new world, an alien world. Every single landmark is gone, just buried under this deep shroud of fresh snow. The path back to their shelter, back to their family, it's gone. And this cold, heavy dread starts to set in.
They do find the shelter, but it's buried. He starts digging frantically, his bare hands just tearing at the packed snow, but he already knows. He can feel it. The fire is long out. Inside, his wife is curled around their daughter in this final, futile attempt to share her warmth. Both of them are as cold as the ice that claimed them.
There's no time to grieve. Not really. Not in this world. They bury their dead under a small pile of rocks, and the march continues. Now it's just the two of them. The world feels emptier. The cold feels sharper. But they have to keep moving. They just have to. Days turn into weeks. The father and son survive more brutal nights. But slowly, so slowly you can barely notice it, things start to change. The son lingers just a little longer each day. And then, one afternoon, they hear it. A sound they haven't heard in a long, long time. Other people.
They find a small group gathered by a river, and they look just like them, gaunt, weary, marked by loss, but alive. They're all survivors of the same brutal winter. Strangers, but they're bound by the shared, terrible ordeal.
So as the father and his son step out into the open, the whole group turns to look at them. And you can see the caution in their eyes, of course, but there's something else there too. It's recognition. It's hope. In a world that's defined by loss, just the sight of another survivor, that's an incredibly powerful thing. A new chapter is about to begin.
You know, this story is a brutal testament to the realities of the Ice Age, no question. But it's also about an instinct that runs so much deeper than just mere survival. It's about the drive to protect, the drive to endure, and to forge a connection even after the world has taken absolutely everything from you. So it leaves us with the question, when everything is lost, what makes us continue? Maybe, just maybe, the answer is right there, in that hopeful glance between strangers.